What the hell's going on, people? This is Periodic, and you see the title of the video. We are jumping back into Dragonball Z Dokkan Battle in order to go over a start of the year top 10 TUR Dokkan Battle list. It's a tier list by DaTruth'S. In case you guys don't know, you've been living under a rock. DaTruthDT, one of the biggest Dokkan Battle YouTubers, makes a decent amount of tier lists. And this is one that was created about 2 weeks ago, and it's going over the top TURs in Dokkan Battle. Now, keep in mind, this is Japan, so it's going to include some characters that are not in my list that I dropped just the other day. And I kind of wanted to see the contrast in what we value. And keep in mind that this list of his is very, very geared towards Super Battle Road. He says it multiple times in the video because his rationale in it is essentially Super Battle Road, Extreme Super Battle Road, probably the most difficult content in the game right now. You can kind of cheese Legendary Goku event, you can kind of cheese Infinite Dragon Ball history, but in Super Battle Road, you can only bring those specific units, for whatever it is, whatever the category type is, whatever the actual typing is. So in that regard, it is a little bit more, difficult because of how restrictive it is. So he's going through the lens of SBR and ESBR, and so that's how he's rating it. Now, with that said, I do have some disagreements, and we're going to go through each one of them. So we're going to start off with his top 10. His number 10 pick on the list, and it's one I already disagree with, okay? Which is I was going to say strength, the Super Saiyan 4 Tech Broly, Giant Ape Power. So this list was created before Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta showed up on Global. So I think he was giving a little bit too much, to the leader skill, Giant Ape Power 130%, which in of itself is not fantastic. Yes, it was the only Giant Ape Power category live on Global at the time of the recording, but Gogeta is a much better leader, and honestly, you probably wouldn't run a 130% all across the board team. Like, you're not going to use LR Strength UI Goku as a leader skill. So I don't think the leader skill really adds much, and the card itself is good, but not great. And I actually think that he's probably the most overrated out of the Super Saiyan 4s. Case in point, his attack and defense only triggers when he super attacks. Only triggers when he super attacks. So it's 140% attack and defense, and he does a lot of damage when he's able to super attack, because he also has a 50% chance to do a second super attack if there's a Giant Ape Power category ally in the same turn. So that allows him to do a lot of damage. Now, what's unfortunate is he doesn't gain any kind of defense on his actual super attack, condition or his description. It's only on his passive skill. So that makes it, if he doesn't have enough ki to super, guess what? You're not getting that 140% bonus, and you're only getting the defense that you have, which at max, he's going to be Rainbow Starred 10,845 defense, which is not a lot. And then from his links, he only gets defense from Saiyan Roar, which is 10%, and Prepared for Battle, which is 5%. So not the most. So at the Rainbow Star level, I was getting my Broly to be about 50k defense. 50,000, that's not a lot at all. So that allows you to get hit extremely hard. It also makes it so even if you have the key to super attack, let's just say if you get hit first, you are in big trouble. And so to me, this Super Saiyan 4 Broly doesn't really belong near the top 10. I would even say there's two characters that are similar, that are very similar, that are also on the crossover category, that are a bit more useful, in my opinion. Number one would be the Strength Silas, who also only gains his stats when he super attacks, 100% attack and defense. But he's an artificial life form support, 1 ki, 20% attack, and he's a time traveler support, 1 ki and 20% attack. He also transforms on the third turn of battle, and then he becomes pretty strong, you know. But in that form, yes, he has a little bit less stats, obviously, 40% attack and defense less, but he's giving support, 20% attack, 20% attack for, you know, 2 different categories. And since he's on both of those categories, he's actually sitting at 140% attack and 100% defense. So that's the strength Silas. And then next, we have the intelligence Superfoo, who raises his attack and defense on his super attack. He seals, and when he supers, he gives himself 150% attack and defense. So in actuality, he's sitting at like 170% attack and defense when he supers. When he has a time traveler's ally on the team, he's going to gain 1 key and 10% dodge from them, and that caps at 4 key, 40% dodge. So in that way, I think he's a bit more useful. And it's the same thing with the leader skill, right? He's got 130% across the board. You're not really going to use him as a Dragon Ball Heroes category lead, unless if you really, really want to run that category for whatever reason. So I think the Broly is kind of in that, you know, yes, he can do a lot more damage. I'll give you that 100%. But in terms of like bringing him to SBRs particularly, I don't think that's really reasonable. Now, the next unit on the list, number 9, is the Super Saiyan 4 Zeno Vegito. And honestly, I agree 100%. I would probably put him at number 10, but I love this card. The fact that the crossover category is a huge category and it's 170% across the board, that is pretty darn good, right? He's raising that defense on his super attack. He's unconditionally giving himself 140% attack and defense, not to mention that additional 40% that he gives in attack and defense and 2 key if you're on both the crossover and Giant Ape power category. Obviously, those are 2 different passives that he does. Crossover gets 1 key, 20% attack and defense. Giant Ape gets 1 key, 20% attack and defense. But if you're on both, like the Tech Broly, like, you know, all these other Super Saiyan 4 characters, you're getting 40% attack and defense, 2 key. That's insane. And then last but not least, he's got that 50% chance to dodge, super attacks, and counter with tremendous power. So this dude is incredible. He hits really hard, over 3 million attack stats. He can be extremely defensive, particularly after he super attacks. But even if he gets hit before he supers, he's not getting caught with his pants down. He's still going to be fine, right? And then he's got that 50% chance to dodge super attacks, which is absolutely incredible. So I do think that the Super Saiyan 4 Vegito is a fantastic choice. Definitely belongs on the top 10. And I'm a huge fan of him. Next up, we're moving on to number 8, which is the Super Saiyan transforming Goku. And I do also think that he belongs on this list. Now, this Goku is extremely powerful, and you don't need much to be able to make him as strong as he is, right? It's not like one of those units that really, really requires a ton of orbs. He becomes stronger with the more orbs he gets, yes, but he can be fine just with 3 orbs. And I think that's his argument with not including Kefla on the list. Well, I know it's his argument because he says it in his video. By the way, if you haven't watched Truth's video on this, go watch it. It's linked in the, it's in the description down below, because he gives very, very detailed arguments why he thinks each character belongs on each one, right? Or on each team and whatnot. So for the Goku, the reason why he thinks he's better than the Kefla, and I can definitely see this argument. I still think the Kefla is better, but I can definitely see this argument where the Kefla is going to be pretty basic unless if she's grabbing a ton of orbs, right? In her first form that she's going to be in there for 3 turns, she's stacking attack, she's got 100% defense, and then she gives herself 100% attack when she supers. But, that's pretty weak. She'll be very strong if she's able to get that those 6 orbs. If she gets 6 orbs, then she's got a 50% chance to dodge and an additional 50% attack. So that's when it starts to actually matter, because the orbs or the attack is calculated separately. It actually sits at 200% attack, right? So even in her first form where she's stacking attack, she's going to be able to do a lot of damage. Same thing in her Super Saiyan Kefla form, which she transforms after 3 turns, right? That means that if she shows up first rotation, The next time she shows up, boom, she's transforming into Super Saiyan. Still stacking attack, or she's going to be greatly lowering defense. She's moved up to 150% defense, 150% attack, still getting that 50% attack and that 50% chance of defense. So now she's going to be doing 275% attack if she grabs 6 orbs. So she's going to be doing an insane amount of, offense. And then if you are able to get her to transform, which is not particularly hard, it's literally just the next turn, you have to be 60% or above, right? Next turn. So this could potentially be, all right, so she transformed on turn 3, turn 5 comes around. Turn 5 comes around, boom, she could transform, right? And now she's still stacking attack. She's massively lowering defense. She moved up from 150 to 160% defense and attack, and 50% chance to dodge, and launches a guaranteed super attack. So she's no longer gaining that 50% bonus, but she is increasing her attack by 100% when she supers. This makes her extremely, extremely powerful. Now, I do think that her Super Saiyan 2 form is her strongest by far, but with that said, the first 2 forms are kind of blah, unless if you're getting that extra 6 orbs. If you're not getting those 6 orbs, Kefla and Super Saiyan Kefla is going to be kind of mid. Sure, her defense is not going to be particularly great, and her offense isn't going to be really impressive. When she goes to Super Saiyan 2, you don't really have to worry about getting 6 orbs. If you do, fantastic. So she's going to do great damage. She's going to be good defensively on this Super Saiyan 2. I will admit that, like I said, Super Saiyan 1 and base form Kefla are going to be very mid in Super Battle Road, unless if you're grabbing 6 orbs. If you cannot grab 6 orbs, then she is definitely not worth it. So that I do agree with. For the Goku, listen, the Goku is a solid choice even early on, right? Even early on, because he's sitting at the 100% attack and defense, but remember, the more HP you have remaining, the higher the defensive boost. And you're going to start with 100% defense. So his defense is going to skyrocket. It's going to skyrocket. And what's even better is that when you're grabbing those 3 orbs, your defense is calculated separately, right? So what's going to happen is you're at 100% HP, you're going to grab an additional 78% defense. So now you're sitting at 178% defense, right? And if you're grabbing the 30% attack and defense, then your 100% attack and defense goes actually to 160. So it'll be, if you're grabbing 3 or more key, you're going to be at 160% attack and defense. And then if you're at 100% HP, add 78% defense on top of that. So he's actually going to be great defensively. Very, very, very good defensively. And then his transformation condition is not particularly hard to get. Transforms when facing only one enemy. HP is 80% or more starting from the 3rd turn of battle. So by the time you're on the 3rd turn of battle, you'll probably be getting close to just having one enemy, and they'll probably be close to full health, unless if you're just doing attack all type dudes, right? And then he transforms into the Super Saiyan 3 Angel, where he gets even better, right? And honestly, getting the 6 orbs is cool because your attacks will be effective against all types, but you don't really need it, because with just 3 orbs, attack and defense 33%, and 33% chance to dodge, which is massive. But what's even bigger is when this man goes Super Saiyan 3, he's going to greatly raise his attack and 50% chance to stun. That to me is extremely powerful. Very, very powerful. So I can definitely see him being even higher, but there's so many good characters on this list. So many good characters on this list. It's actually insane. And that brings us to the next character number 7, or the top 7 character, which is the Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. And in my opinion, I do like the Vegeta more, because another thing that Truth really highlighted is leader skills. And Vegeta has a fantastic leader skill combo. Super Saiyan 2 Resurrected Warrior is very, very good combo. And he's also going to be raising his defense on his super, which is great. Now, he's going to be flipping what the Goku does. So instead of gaining that defense at 100%, he's gaining attack at 100%. So in actuality, he's going to be sitting at 178% attack. And then when you gain that, you're going to gain an additional 78% attack. And if you gain those 3 orbs, just like the Goku, you're going to be at 160% attack and defense. And then with the, at 100% HP, you'll be at 138% or 238% attack, 238% attack, 160% defense. That's actually insanity. And then it's the same thing with his transformation, except what's different with him is he's going to be doing a lot of attack when he's getting those 3 orbs. Attacks effective against all types, 3 orbs. And then he guards all on 6 orbs. But his super attack greatly raises his defense. So he's getting a 50% defensive boost. So that means that his ability to tank is not going to be minimal. It's going to be very, very, very good. And he also has a 50% chance to stun. So I do think that the Vegeta is slightly better than the Goku. Now, if the Vegeta greatly raised attack for 1 turn, then I would say, all right, Goku I would say is better because his defense edges him out. But because this Vegeta has so much offense built into him and then still greatly raises attack or defense and 50% chance to stun, I got to put the Vegeta over him. Next, the Beerus. So Beerus being at number 6. At first, I was like, wow, that's that feels low. That feels low for Beerus. How can Beerus only be number 6? Like, that's crazy. And then I thought about the units that are above him, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that actually kind of makes sense why Beerus is number 6. Because Beerus is a absolutely monster of a unit, extremely good, but he does have certain limitations. I mean, he stacks attack, greatly lowers defense, which is always good. Starts at 100% defense, right? 150% when he supers, but putting him in the first turn is so imperative because when you put him in the first turn, he gives himself that additional 70% attack and defense, which actually ticks him up to 240%. 240% defense, right? So the next hit, he's just going to take nothing at all. Nothing at all. And then he's going to keep on hitting harder and harder and harder and harder. And he's going to just have no, he'll have no weaknesses at that point. He'll take 0 damage, right? Very little damage. And then the offense that he produces just is unreal. And then if he's facing a Realm of God's enemy, which there's an okay amount, especially now, they're starting to add more and more Realm of God characters, then he randomly changes orbs to Rainbow. I think Truth made a great point where he said if this dude was just a orb changer off rip, just does it all the time, then Beerus would be a lot higher. But because he does not, he's only against Realm of Gods, then I can definitely understand why he's in the 6th spot. His active skill is also fantastic because once you drop below 70% HP and 4th turn of battle, giving yourself 50% attack and defense, effective against all types, cannot be dodged. His attack cannot be dodged. That boosts him up to 380% attack and 410% defense if he gets hit first. If he gets hit first, his numbers are that high. So that is incredible. But as was said before, he is a little bit restricted. He has to be able to link properly, he has to be next to either Vados, Whis, or Beerus and Whis. That's it, right? Because he can't be next to another Beerus. His name is Beerus. So it's got to be LR Strength, Beerus and Whis. It's got to be Intelligence Vados or Strength Whis. One of those 3 characters have to be next to him or else he ain't linking well at all. Yes, you can potentially throw the AGL Vados. You're never going to throw the Physical Champa next to him. I don't want people trolling. Oh, what about Physical Champa? Dude, get out of here. You don't play the game. Come on now. Next up, number 5. Number 5 being Strength Cooler. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with Cooler being number 5. I think that he still does incredible things. Lowering attack and defense is great. Him having two different support on his passive in his non-transformed state is incredible. I wish it worked at the same time. That would be broken, and he'd probably still be considered the best character in the game if that was the case. But whatever. Different situation, different support. That is fine. And then being able to transform after 6 turns, not the best. Not the best. And so what I mean by that is if you're not facing a pure Saiyans or hybrid Saiyans category enemy, then you won't be able to transform on the 3rd turn. You have to wait 6. And on something like Infinite Dragon Ball History, like for example, if you're going in the Shadow Dragon Saga, there are no pure Saiyans or hybrid Saiyans you're fighting. It's just the Shadow Dragons. So you will have to wait 6 turns. Now, that is an event where it's going to take a long time. I mean, there's a mission to beat it within 25 turns, so you will be able to transform. But still, 6 turns is a lot. It's a lot. When this guy transforms, again, if he's facing non-hybrid Saiyans and pure Saiyans, he still is strong because he's stacking his attack, but his shine is not really there. Yes, he's got 3 key, 100% attack and defense, and he still launches an additional attack that's got a 30% chance to be a super. But when he's facing a pure Saiyan and hybrid Saiyan, and that's a guaranteed crit, that is just bananas. That is unbelievable. Now, he benefits from 70% of the game being pure Saiyans and hybrid Saiyans. That is why he is still this high, even though he came out in October of 2019. So it was a year and a half ago this guy came out, and he's still considered top 5 in the game. And I 100% agree with that. I 100% agree with top 5 in the game. Now, if we go over to number 4, I'm also fine with number 4, right? I'm also fine with number 4 being this strength Bojack. This strength Bojack is extremely powerful. We don't have him on global yet, but we will, right? Space Traveling Warriors is a good category. Time Travelers is a good category. I love that it's a 3-key, 170% lead for Space Traveling Warriors. That's incredible. Raising attack and defense on his super is great. He's pretty much got Cooler's passive in a nutshell, right? He kind of is a version of Cooler. Whoever designed Cooler, I feel like designed this guy. Because 100% attack and defense, which is the same as Cooler, right? Space Traveling Warrior allies get 2 key, attack and defense 30% when facing 1 enemy, just like Cooler. Additional attack and defense 10% when facing 2 or more enemies, plus an additional attack and defense 10% when facing 3 or more enemies. So that is, instead of gaining that second support passive, he instead gains a buff in SBR. So when you're in SBR, you're going to be facing minimum 2 enemies to start off with, almost always 3 or 4, right? So that means that he's going to be in a good little spot there because he's sitting at 130% attack and defense with his Space Traveling Warriors passive, and then 150% attack and defense when you're facing at least 3 or more enemies, which is great, right? Which is very, very good. And then transforming on the 4th turn, that I like. Also, I like that it's an active skill and you can choose to transform. That's very important, just like the Cooler. Very important that you have the choice. Do you want to keep being a support or do you want to be a badass at that point, right? And this dude, you just have to wait 4 turns and only be facing 1 enemy, which in Super Battle Road on the 4th turn, that's most likely going to be the case, right? So when he transforms, the funny thing about this is Truth is not a huge fan of this form. I like it, right? Raises attack, 180% attack and defense, 3 key. Oh, just like Strength Cooler. Launches additional attack that has a 30% chance of becoming a super attack. Oh, that's Strength Cooler, right? And then here's where it differs. Instead of getting that guaranteed crit against pure Saiyans and hybrid Saiyans, he's got an additional 30% attack and 15% defense when getting 3 orbs. And then another 30% attack and 15% defense when getting 6 or more orbs. So if you're getting those 6 orbs, you're at 348% attack, 264% defense. I think what would have made this guy probably like considered maybe the best in the game is if in his super attack, he disabled the guard. Or in his passive, his attacks were effective against all types. Or in this form, if he had another active skill or something like that. That would have made him the best. But I understand that in this particular form, he is a meatball, all right? He's just a muscle man. He just does damage, and that's what he does. That's all he's concerned about. That's all he cares for, damage. And so I understand not seeing it as like, all right, he's kind of lost his utility, particularly in Super Battle Road. Particularly in Super Battle Road, it's like, okay, this guy doesn't seal, he doesn't stun, he's not guarding, he's not doing any of that. And he's also key reliant, so that makes it a little bit tricky. So I can 100% understand why he would be number 4 as opposed to higher. Because some people think it's like this guy's like the best TUR on the game or he's close to it. I don't think so. Number 3, and this is where we might start to disagree a bit. But I'm not that torn up about this, okay? He's got Tech Gohan as number 3. And honestly, I don't really have a problem with that. I don't. Tech Gohan is immensely powerful. He is as I mentioned before, a broken character unto himself. He doesn't need anybody's help. He doesn't want anybody's help. He just does it. He's like Thanos when at the end of Age of Ultron when he grabs the gauntlet and he's like, fine, I'll do it myself.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
Right? That's Gohan. He can be on a team full of Cybermen and he's going to own because of what he does. He's greatly raising his attack and defense. He's stacking 50% attack and defense every super attack. 140% attack and defense starting off, gives himself 1 key every turn, so there goes his key issues, bye-bye, he fixes it, guards all attacks, and then if he gets hit first, he gains an additional 40% attack. So people talk about like, oh, he doesn't do a lot of damage. Yeah, he does. Let him get hit first. He's going to do a ridiculous amount of damage. Now, this form is insane alone, right? But on Super Battle Road, you're not going to be able to really get his active skill off many times because you got to wait 5 turns. Now, just like the Strength Kefla, one of the drawbacks of her having to transform is, I talked about it earlier. Okay, if she shows up first turn, by turn 5, she'll be able to turn Super Saiyan 2. And most of us will still be in an event by turn 5. Truth and some other top players who have everything rainbow starred 100%, they probably have enough damage to clear it by turn 4. So they probably are never seeing that transformation happen or that ability to transform, right? But most like average players probably will. So when you go into that Ultimate Gohan form, now he's doing insane damage, and oh, guess what? He's gained the ability to stun. He's got a 30% stun for 2 turns on his super attack. He's spiking up his attack on his super. He's sitting at 158% attack and defense. He's giving himself 3 key unconditionally. He's still guarding all attacks. He's now giving himself 58% attack when he gets hit. His attacks are effective against all types against 1 enemy, which by turn 5, you'll only be facing 1 enemy. Their HP just has to be 58% or more. But if they're a Majin Buu Saga enemy, then it's always going to be attack effective against all types. Now, you can say like, oh, his links, but it's like, okay, he gives himself key, and he gives himself attack and defense. He doesn't need links. He doesn't care about them. Doesn't matter. But in the same breath, the reason why he kind of deserves to be number 3 is because he doesn't help. He does everything on his own, but he doesn't make anybody better. He doesn't have the links to really power up anybody else. Like, his best linking partner is Strength Ultimate Gohan, and that card kind of sucks. So there's not like another good card that becomes even better. Like if you look at Strength Bojack, right? The LR Int Bojack becomes a god next to the Strength Bojack. This Tech Gohan doesn't really do that for anybody. So I think that's why he deserves to be number 3. Now, number 2, my guy Truth has the physical Frieza. Physical transforming Frieza that goes into Golden Frieza. And this is where I'm going to argue, because at number 1 is Intelligence Monkey, the Intelligence Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I very passionately would flip those two and argue it to my last breath. I think right now, Frieza Final Form Angel is better and is the best TUR in the game. And I think he's a decent amount better than Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. And especially if we're talking about SBR. Especially if we're talking about SBR. Now, let's explain why. Because Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, okay. Let's start with Frieza first, right? Let's start with Frieza first, since he has him as number 2. His leader skills are pretty good. They don't blow you out of the water, but they're pretty good. Resurrected Warriors, Otherworld Warriors. What Otherworld Warriors used to be a joke, getting better and better. Resurrected Warriors, very strong. He stacks his defense, and he seals super attack. That is extremely important. Seals super attack. All right? That is something that allows it allows you to survive where normally you would take a lot of damage, right? You're mitigating the ability for the enemy to hit you with tons of damage by sealing their super attack. So that's extremely important. Starts off at 100% attack and defense. Okay, understood. That's a far cry from Gogeta's 200% attack and defense. But keep in mind, if he gets hit once, he's going to gain 30% dodge, and he's going to gain 50% attack and defense for 5 turns. 5. And so what does that mean? That's calculated on top of his attack and defense 100%. So that puts him at 200% attack and defense, which Gogeta is at 200% attack and defense, okay? Now, on top of that, anybody he attacks loses 30% attack and defense for 2 turns. 30! For 2 turns. So his turn and the next. That is a massive debuff. That's a massive debuff for 2 turns. That's essentially having the lowering, attack and defense just as his passive for whoever he hits. He doesn't even have to super attack him. He just has to hit him, right? So that's really, really big, because if he super attacks in 2 different turns, right, turn 1 and turn 3, his defense is going to be incredible. And even then, let's just say, okay, some people say like, oh, you could try to make Frieza look bad. He can get super attacked his first turn, right? His first turn, he can get super attacked before he even attacks. That super attack is not going to kill him, all right? Unless if he's facing a strength unit. I don't even think that Frieza would take 500k defense or 500k attack, right? He would probably take, if he's facing a strength unit and he gets supered first turn, sitting at 100% defense, he'd probably take like 300, maybe 400, maybe 400k. And this is if you're using no items for whatever reason, right? You decide not to use items. Okay, Frieza, let him take this first super attack. Boom. Let's just say another super attack comes in. Okay, he has 30% dodge now. He's now sitting at 200% defense. His defense has just skyrocketed, right? Now, that attack that hit him for 300k is going to hit him for 150k if it hits him at all. And then when he super attacks, he just sealed you. He just lowered your attack. So now your normal attack that you're going to hit him with after is going to do, I don't know, 5k, 1k, maybe 3 digits. So after that one turn, he's good. I put this guy in multiple super battle roads and he just doesn't look bad. He just looks incredible. And that's his first form, all right? His second form, when he goes into golden, so let's just say you do get him into the golden form, right? 100% increase on his super attack, right? His passive gives him a 70% chance to stun. 170% chance to stun. That is unbelievable. And then on top of that, he's sitting at just 120% attack and defense. But if he gets, when he supers, he gives himself another 80% attack and defense. It's calculated separately, guys. So that means that he's sitting at about 300% attack and defense when he supers. And oh, by the way, if you drop below 50% HP, that's fine. He gives himself 50% damage reduction. You know, just something light. Something light. So that to me is absolutely bonkers. Now, let's go to the God tier, which is the number 1, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. And this is not me discrediting Gogeta at all, because I think he is the second best TUR in the game. I think his leader skill is a lot more limited than Frieza's, though you could make a really good, compact, tight squad around Giant Ape Power and Shadow Dragon Saga, right? But it's not as good as Resurrected Warriors or Otherworld Warriors, you know, putting those two categories together. This guy's greatly raising his attack and defense on his super attack for 1 turn, immense damage, right? So that's a 50% increase on his super attack and his attack and his defense. 200% attack and defense, which is Jiren stats, right? He gives himself 4 ki and an additional 40% attack and defense for 8 turns, and that's calculated separately. So for the first 8 turns, he's actually sitting at 376% attack and defense, which is bonkers to me. Bonkers. And then he's got a 50% chance of attacks being effective against all types when the 9th turn starts. And he's got a 50% chance to dodge and countering with tremendous power, right? Dodging super attacks. So for the first 8 turns, he's at, 376% attack and defense. He's giving himself 4 ki. And he's got a 50% chance to dodge super attacks. That is absolutely incredible. That is absolutely incredible. And that's why he, to me, is number 2, even without being able to stun or seal or lower attack or do any of that stuff, right? Now, he does do that on his passive, lowering attack. We'll get to that in a little bit. But even without being able to do any of that, no stunning, no sealing, no lowering attack and defense on the super attack, none of that, he's still, to me, number 2 because of just that raw monkey power that he has. He is a silverback gorilla, and he's just going to take your arm off and beat you over the head with it. All right, that's what he's able to do. And then even after 8 turns, listen, on Super Battle Road, you're not going to get 8 turns. It's just not going to happen. So you're really never going to see that attack effective against all types. It's just not really going to happen. You're going to be on your 9th turn. It's not going to happen. And even his active skill is going to be not difficult, but it might take 2 to 3 turns for it to pop up because he has to get hit 4 times. Now, if you get lucky and he's like first rotation and you put him in a spot where he's going to take, a lot of damage, then boom, he can get that active skill pretty quick. And the active skill is great, right? 40% attack and defense for himself, and then the enemies, all enemies, get their attack and defense lowered by 40%, which is really, really big. But I just don't think it's realistic to see that a lot, right? You can go an entire Super Battle run and just never see that. And also, if you want to talk about somebody looking bad, this Gogeta can potentially look bad turn 1. If he gets super attacked first, right? And that MUI Goku thing happens where he just doesn't dodge. For whatever reason. Even when 376% attack and defense, even with that amount, he could still get hit particularly hard. And I think it's because his defense is just a smidge under 10k. It's at like 9,975 at Rainbow Star. And so that makes it where he can still get really hard, hit hard, even though the his numbers are so darn high. I've seen this guy on Super Battle Road take 20-30k normal attacks, which honestly kind of shocked me why he's taking that much damage. And it's just going to be a consistent thing. Now, he still, again, has that 50% chance to dodge, which is huge. the big stats, right? But I think because of that weakness, not necessarily a weakness, but the chance of dodging just super attacks, right? Just the super attacks makes it so he could potentially get hit very hard. Now, I know I was mentioning, hey, the Frieza has a 30% chance to dodge, so that can work. Yeah, Gogeta can get that 50% dodge. Obviously, he's got a 20% higher chance to get a dodge off regarding super attacks. Frieza just gets a flat 30% dodge for anybody, for any attack, any super attack, anything, right? So he just mitigates, that 30% mitigates all damage, whereas Gogeta's 50% mitigates just super attacks. So I'm sure some mathematician can kind of figure out what's the more effective route of blah, 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 or whatever. What negates more damage or whatever. But to me, because Frieza has the seals, the stuns, the guaranteed damage reducing, attack and defense lowering, whereas Gogeta has to get his active skill to pop off for it to happen. In regards to Super Battle Road, which Truth was kind of, angling all of this off of, kind of basing all of this off of Super Battle Road, I gotta say Frieza is number one, man. Frieza is number one in the game. So let me know what you guys think about that. Make sure you go over to Truth's channel and watch his video and leave a like on his video because it was very well thought out. His video was like 30 or 40 minutes as well. Maybe it was 20 minutes. I don't know. But regardless, I had a hell of a time watching it and I really enjoyed it. And hopefully you enjoy the stuff that I'm dropping on this channel. If you want to become a member, it's very easy to do. Go ahead and click that blue join button down below. Join the Boomer Elites, join the Boomer Champions, just like Chris Gonzalez, just like Wolverine Gaming. And if you want to do it the free-to-play way, that's fine too. Go ahead and gently rub that sub button, gingerly ring that bell button, lovingly kiss the like button. As always, this is Periodic. See y'all in the next video.